Hey everyone, hope you are doing well. So, welcoming you all towards another topic from Indian Polity itself. Today, we're going to cover the President of India. What are its qualifications? What are its procedures? What are its powers? And all such things that have been mentioned under Indian Polity. So, the picture you have already, recognized who it is. Therefore, that is not necessary for me to say. So, let's get back to the President. Article 52 to 78 in Part 5 of the Constitution deal with the Union Executive. So, in between, all such important provision has been listed which talks about the Union Executive. The Union Executive consists of the President, the Vice President, the Prime Minister, the Council of Ministers, and the Attorney General of India. All such members are the part of the Union Executive. The President is the head of the Indian state. So, this is an important point to remember. You can just highlight it in your book if you have that one. He is the first citizen of India and acts as the symbol of unity, integrity, and solidarity of the nation. The President of India is known as the first citizen of India. Then we have election of the President. So while reading this particular chapter, you may find it quite difficult due to the calculation that it has been prescribed. To be honest, when I was in my doing my LLB, I almost kind of skip this chapter because I hate math. So when there is a kind of formula or such mathematical thing, I just hate it. So I was, for such a long period, quite ignoring this particular chapter. But yeah, for my master's and in order to secure good marks, I had to. So today we're going to cover this. So once you understand, it will be very easier for you to go through. So let us first know how it has been conducted. The president is elected not directly by the people but by members of electoral college consisting of. So this is not the direct election. President has been elected by the electoral college that has elected members of both the House of the Parliament, that is Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, the elected members of the legislative assemblies of the states. States participation is also necessary and important in the election procedure of president. Then we have the elected members of the legislative assemblies of the Union Territories of Delhi and Pondicherry. So the very reason to include all of them in this election that the Constitution of India, the Constitution wants to have a balance between the states, the union, and kind of asking for the state to give their contribution in the election method itself. So this is the very reason why all the members has been added and has been selected to give votes for the presidential election. So this is the very formula or this is the very manner on which basis the president election should be conducted. The constitution provides that there shall be uniformity in the scale of representation of different states as well as parity between the states as a whole and the union the election of the president. That was I have just mentioned. To achieve this, the member of the force which is elected member of the legislative assembly of each state and the parliament is entitled to cast at such election shall be determined in the following manner. So if there should be in balance, but if we talk about MLA and MPs, MPs are very small in numbers and MLAs are a bigger number. So that would be a biased thing. So in order to keep a balance, this formula has been added and in that basis only the balance would be described or balance would be created between. Every elected member of the Legislative Assembly of the state shall have as many votes as there are multiple of 1,000 in the accordingly obtained by dividing the population of the same state by the total number of the elected members of the assembly. This can be expressed as value of the vote of an MLA. So how you will calculate the value of an MLA? So that would be calculated with this formula. The population of the state, how many population does the state have? For example, I am from Assam, so I'll be writing here how much population my state has. Then total number of elected members of the state in the legislative assembly, how many people or how many members elected, that will be adding here, and rest by using this formula we will take out the value of the vote. Every elected member of either house of parliament shall have such number of votes as many as may be obtained by dividing the total number of votes assigned to members of the legislative assemblies of the state. So this is the formula. By the total number of the elected members of the board, the houses of parliament, this can be expressed as the value of vote of an MP, total value of votes of all MLAs of all states, just what we have just calculated, that would be here, total numbers of elected members of parliament. So this is the formula. The president election is held in accordance with a system of proportional representation by means of single transferable vote. So this method has been adopted, that is single transferable vote. Vote can be transferred. When in general election there is no such method, but when the election is happening for the president, so there is this method, that is single transferable vote. And the voting is by secret ballot. The system ensures the successful candidate is written by the absolute majority of votes. The candidate, in order to be declared elected, the president must secure a fixed quota of votes. The quota votes is determined by the total number of valid votes pooled by the number of candidates to be elected. For example, in order to win 100 plus votes is necessary. So if any candidate secures this line, that person will get elected. So this is the very simple thing to fill up the quota or to go above the quota. So this is the particular method, a particular thing that you need to know, how MLA's value of the vote is declared and how the MPs declare their value of the vote. So let's come towards the qualification and oath and conditions. So when we apply for a certain post, there is a qualification mentioned. For example, you have to be a graduate, you have to have a diploma, you have to have 2 years experience. So just like that, if any one person is wishes to be a president, so there are certain qualification also mentioned. That is, he should be a citizen of India. That is the first requirement. He should have completed 35 years of age. This is the second requirement. He should be qualified for election as a member of the Lok Sabha. He should not hold any office or profit under the Indian government or any state government of any local authority or any other public authority. So we must have noticed that when election comes, if anyone is having a government job, they have to resign from their post if they are going to be going to part in the election. So this is simply the same method for the president's election as well. This oath or affirmation by the president. Before entering upon his office, the president has to make and subscribe to oath and affirmation. He is the president swears to faithfully execute the office, to preserve, protect, and defend the constitution, to devote himself to the service and well-being of the people of India. So this is um, some simple oath that you will protect the law, you will be looking over the people of the India. So this is all what the affirmation or oath should be taken by the president. So this is the list of victorious candidates, their number of votes, their opposite candidate, and number of votes they have got. As you can see, Dr. Rajendra Prasad has won the election twice in the year of 1952 and 1957. That we have Dr. Radhakrishnan, Zakir Hussain, V.V. Giri, Fakhruddin Ali Ahmed, and Sanjeeva Reddy, Gyani Dalching, R. Venkataram, Dr. Dayal Sharma. So all the list has been mentioned here from past to till date. Still now we have Draupadi Murmuji as our Mahamahim and Rashtrapati or the President. So this is the list. You can write it down if you wanted to have a check on this particular list. Let's come to conditions of President's office. The Constitution lays down the following conditions of the President's office. He should not be a member of either House of Parliament or the House. The point has already been mentioned that he should resign if he is in his post. He should not hold any other office of profit. He is entitled to that payment or the official residence, that is Rashtrapati Bhavan. So from now on, if he is elected and won, then he will be entitled to live in that particular place. He is entitled to emoluments, allowances, and privileges as met by maybe determined by the parliament. His emoluments and allowances cannot be diminished during his term of office. It is 5 years. So whatever he is getting, that should not be diminished. So now let's move towards another important point. Is term, impeachment, and vacancy. As I say, the term is 5 years, and impeachment is the procedure on what basis action can be taken against the president if there is any malevolent intention found by the parliament itself. And relating to vacancy. The president holds office for a term of 5 years from the date on which he enters upon his office. So the fixed term is 5 years. However, in USA, a person cannot be elected to the office of the president more than twice. But in our country, one may reappear for the election. Impeachment of the president. So here it has been mentioned who can impeach the president, on what basis the impeachment procedure can be uh, you know call upon the president. So all this has been mentioned here, all the notice who can do so. Then we have vacancy. No president has so far been impeached. So we have the procedure, but till now there is no such records of impeachment of any president till date. Then we have vacancy in the president's office. A vacancy in the president's office can occur in any of the following ways: on the expiry of his tenure of 5 years, by his resignation, on his removal, and by his death. Otherwise, the president's seat cannot be stay vacated. Only in such circumstances, the seat may get vacated. Otherwise, for such situation also, we have that the vice president can be the acting president, and we have CJI or the senior most judge of the Supreme Court will act until the next elected president came upon his throne or place. So now let's move towards the kind of power that the president exercises, that is executive, legislative, financial, judicial, diplomatic, military, and emergency. In executive, he has all the powers that all executive action of the government of India are formally taken in his name. He can make rules. So he can make rules for in any manner. He can make rules for more convenient transaction of businesses. He appoints the prime minister. So all appointments will be made in the hands of the president itself. He appoints the Attorney General of India. So this is again regarding the appointment procedure. So you can write this down. What are the powers of the president? He appoints the Controller or the General of India. He can seek any information relating to the administration of affairs of the Union. Then we have he can require the Prime Minister to submit for consideration the Council of Ministers any matter of which a decision has been taken by a minister but which has not been considered by the Council. So such executive powers the President exercises. He can appoint a commission to investigate into the conditions of SC/ST and underbackward classes. He can appoint an interstate council to promote central, state, and interstate cooperation. This what I have just elaborately discussed in my previous video. It is interstate council. So these are basically the executive power exercised by him. Then we have legislative power. He can summon or prorogue the parliament and dissolve the Lok Sabha. He can address the parliament at the commencement of the first session. He has this ordinance-making power, and he has the nomination power. He can nominate 2 members to the Lok Sabha from the Anglo-Indian community. So these are his legislative power. So now moving towards uh, uh, expenditure control or a bill for the foundation of the creation of a new state. When a bill is sent to the president after it has been passed by the parliament, so if a bill has been presented in the parliament and goes to the president, what are its powers? The president can give assent to the bill, the president can withhold his assent to the bill, or the president can return the bill asking for modifications. However, the bill is passed again by the parliament with or without amendment. The president has to give his assent to the bill. But in case the president returns the bill for modification and the parliament denies to do so and again send the bill to the parliament to the president, and at such scenarios, the president is bound to give his assent. Money bill is an exception because in order to present the money bill in the house, president's prior recommendation is necessary. So this is all. These are the executive, legislative powers of the president. Then we have financial powers. As I said, it is regarding money bill. In order to present a money bill, prior recommendation of president is necessary. He causes to be laid before the Parliament the annual financial statements, Union budget. No demand for a grant can be made except on his recommendation. So without his recommendation, no monetary transaction can happen. He can make advances out of the contingency fund of India. He constitutes a finance commission for every 5 years to recommend the distribution of revenues between the center and the state. So he looks after the revenues in between the center and the state to have a balance between both the center and the union and to keep a balance. Then the judicial powers. So, as I said, he has appointments power. He appoints the CJI, Chief Justice, and the judges of Supreme Court and High Courts. He can seek advice from the Supreme Court. So, in any case, if the president is quite hesitant to give his assent or whatever it is, he may ask uh, advices from the Supreme Court, but the advices that would be coming from the Supreme Court wouldn't be binding on the president. He may or may not uh, walk on that particular advices. Again, he can grant pardon, reprieve, respite, and remission. This is regarding sentences or death sentences, punishment. This is the judicial power that the president exercises. Then also he has diplomatic power. That means the international treaties and agreements are negotiated and concluded on behalf of the president. So all the treaties and agreements are negotiated only in the name of the president or only by the president itself. Now let's moving towards military powers. He is the supreme commander of the defense forces in India. In his capacity, he appoints the chief of the army, the navy, air force. All the appointments have been made by him only. He can declare war or conclude peace. So apart from the president, no one can declare war, not the parliament, not the other members of the council. Then it has emergency power. In emergency power, we have national emergency, president's rule, financial emergency. I have already made a detailed video, so I will be not uh, describing this in detail. Then we have veto power of the president. A bill passed by the parliament can become an act only if it receives the assent of the parliament. So this is the very crucial part. As I already said, what are the powers of the president? When a bill is presented in the house and it goes to the parliament for its assent. If the parliament denies to give its assent and withhold this, the bill will die, stand and there, and there is no alternative method to get the bill passed. So this is exactly what the power of the president that the president exercises. The veto power enjoyed by the executive in modern state can be classified into the following four types. So these are the four types. That is absolute veto, withholding of assent to the bill passed by the legislature. Then we have qualified veto, which can be overridden by the legislature with a higher majority. Suspensive veto, which can be overridden with legislature with an ordinary majority. Pocket veto, taking no action on the bill passed by the legislature. So these are the types of the veto. On the above, for the President of India is vested with three absolute veto, suspensive veto and pocket veto. There is no qualified veto. This is not applicable with our state. It is possessed by the American president. So this is for American president only. For us, the system is quite different. The three vetoes of the President of India are explained in veto. It is absolute veto. It refers to the power of the President to withhold his assent to a bill passed by the Parliament. As I said, he if not feel like it, he can withhold it, the bill. The bill then ends and does not become an act. It will be exercised in the following cases. So there is two exceptions on two cases on where the president can exercise his absolute veto. So in today's class, we have understood who is the first president of India, who is the first citizen of India, what are his qualifications, what are the oaths and information, what are his duties, what are the powers. All such thing has been explained in detail. Hope you have liked and enjoyed the video. If you found this video helpful, do like and subscribe so that I can come up with more such content. So till then, stay happy and healthy. See you soon.